So what's in a name? Let's bring in our panel, editor of the Weekly Standard, Bill Kristol, former Arkansas senator and chairwoman of the It's My Business Coalition, Blanche Lincoln, and Washington bureau chief for USA Today, Susan Page. Senator Lincoln, I want to start with you. President Clinton, former President Clinton, is slapping down reports that a few weeks ago he was trying to give Hillary Clinton, his wife, who may be running for president someday, some cover when he suggested that President Obama should honor his promise. If you like your health plan, you can keep your health plan. Here's what he said to CNN Español's Juan Carlos today.
Many believe you did it to distance your wife, former Secretary of State and Senator Hillary Clinton, thinking of a presidential run.
The answer to the first question is no. First of all, I said nothing about this, not one word, until the president himself spoke.
What do you think? What do you make of it?
Oh, well, who knows? If Hillary runs, I hope she does. I'll be right there behind her just like I was last time. But I do think it's important to keep promises, and I think that continuing to work to make sure that the Affordable Care Act works and gets rolled out in a way that people can access it is essential. Bill Clinton, your thoughts?
First, I feel like I have to say 3 or 4 times, Obamacare, 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 since Jay Carney has now forbidden that. As you say, the president uses it all the time, but somehow when you're having trouble...
Last year on the campaign trail, he said, I like it, Obamacare's.
When you don't like, exactly, when you don't like the policy you get on these exchanges, that's not Obamacare, that's just some private insurance company giving you a right policy. But when it's all the wonderful benefits, it's Obamacare. I guess that's just politics. Bill Clinton's great, you know, and Bill Clinton is 24/7 worrying about Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton's chances for 2016, and she will be in a tricky position. I mean, she was part of the Obama administration. She can't really walk away from it. On the other hand, she's not going to want, I think, to inherit all the baggage that might be there by 2016.
There is something about whether or not calling it Obamacare is a problem. Susan, today House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer told reporters, quote, I wish I hadn't called it Obamacare before because that has politicized it and has been used by Republicans as a pejorative term. By calling it Obamacare, it's a pejorative term. That's interesting coming from a House Democratic leader.
Yeah, well, the source is surprising, but the fact is true. The Gallup organization, in fact, tested that in their polling, and they found that the Affordable Care Act gets higher ratings than Obamacare. You can be describing exactly the same policy, but labeling it with Obama does inject our very partisan politics into it. But I think the White House decided, I mean, whatever Jay Carney said today, the White House decided a long time ago, it's going to be called Obamacare. That is a losing battle. Talk to headline writers who have to fit Affordable Care Act into a headline, and they will tell you Obamacare is.
Which, by the way, isn't even the full name, right? I mean, it's actually longer than that. You're speaking of that Gallup poll about how the Affordable Care Act tests better than Obamacare. Actually, Jimmy Kimmel, a friend of the show, put that to the test on the streets of Los Angeles.
Do you agree with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare?
The Affordable.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I just don't agree with the whole Obamacare policy thing that's going on.
Now, the truth is, most people are busy. They live their lives. They're not like us focused on all this policy. But this does indicate a communications problem for the White House.
No, I don't agree.
You don't?
What's happened in the last... Nothing's changed in the last 2 months, but whether it's called Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, what's changed in the last 2 months is real people are getting real insurance policies canceled and are going on to see what they can get in exchange instead and don't like what they're getting. It's reality. It's not communications. And I think the president can tell himself and the White House staff can tell themselves, gee, if only we give more speeches and say this and say that. Their problem is the actual results of Obamacare are bad for an awful lot of Americans and getting worse, I think.
Well, they do have to give more speeches, and they got to get out and sell it. But the Affordable Care Act, and that's what I've called it all along, you know, it does matter what you call it, because for me as a member of Congress, when I would go home to my state, people would say, I want what you have. Well, what we had was an FEHBP. It was the Federal Employees Health Benefit Plan. It was private insurance that we got at a good price with good coverage because all 8 million federal employees were pooled together. And when the OPM negotiated, they got us a good deal from private insurers.
And you could choose among the private insurers. You didn't have to choose ones that included all the mandated health benefits. You should
We
have
had
just
to meet the state mandates.
well, which all insurance plans have had to. You should have expanded that fine plan you had for all Americans.
And Olympia and I tried to do that.
Well, they'd be better off if you had succeeded. The president would have been better
Final
off.
thought from Susan.
There are policies and programs where a PR campaign can help. This isn't one of them because this affects people's lives. They'll make their own judgment, good or bad, about whether this has worked to help them and their families and their relatives and their neighbors. And that is Obama's problem, but it's also his hope.
Potential solution if the website's up and if it actually does what they
Right.
promised it would do,
Exactly.
would do for a majority of Americans.
Yeah.
Susan.